Back at the book segment tonight is a new book out by the legendary comedy writer Dick Cavett. It's called Brief Encounters, Conversations, Magic Moments, and Assorted High Jinks. In the book, Mr. Cavett discusses some of the most amusing people he has ever known. I spoke with him last night. So I want to talk to you about funny people because you're a comedy writer. Let's take Groucho Marx first. You bet your life a big, a 50s show. I mean, the guy was lightning.
Charles Snow.
How tall are you, Charlie?
5'2".
It's the first time we've ever had 5 feet of snow in L.A.
The ad-libs on that show were just splendid. The famous incident with the cigar, a guest had a dozen or so children, and Groucho said, "You really have many children?" Yeah. And somebody said, "Well, is anything wrong with that?" And he said, "No, I love my cigar too, but I take it out of my mouth sometimes." It was in the radio days.
It was the radio for Groucho Marx. You tell a great story about Groucho Marx and a tour bus.
Yes, one of the Hollywood Homes star map tour buses came up to Groucho's house, and the man with the microphone said, "Oh, look, there's Groucho's gardener working in the roses. Let's go out and see if we can get something about Groucho." And he takes the mic out, broadcasting into the bus, and this man he sees has a hat pulled down and is working with his roses. And in fact, it was Groucho, but he didn't reveal it. And the square John with the mic says, "Could you give us any insights into your boss? What kind of a job is this?" And a familiar voice said, "The pay is lousy, but he lets me sleep with his wife."
Now, Bob Hope, you feel he was one of the funniest men that you've ever seen?
Absolutely, yes. This is a man who went to the top in vaudeville, went to the top in theater.
I'm the greatest father of them all.
Went to the top in television, to the top in movies.
Right.
Doctor, glad I'm not sick.
Hope certainly was the most skilled, brilliant comedian of that style of stand-up. Brilliant, beautifully articulated.
They pointed to where your bedroom was. Outside your door is a blackboard. Do you keep score of some kind, or what? No,
And not only that, it's so flattering, I'm going to plead guilty.
Intrinsically funny, moved funny, and everything. Then he stayed on too long. He was a patriot. He loved the country that had done so much for him. He just loved fame to the exclusion of everything in his life.
He liked being famous.
I'm in musical comedy now. I'm a big star. Not in this house.
When I was a kid, he walked out on a stage and there was nothing between me and Bob Hope. I ran around to the stage door. Hope came down the steps and I said, "Fine show, Bob." He said, "Thanks, son." And years go by, Bill, and I look in the wings. Yes, he's here. He's going to come out on my show. And I told him that story, and he said, "Hey, was that you?"
When you just walked out of the studio and you dropped it in there, and you walked. It was just beautiful.
What about
I didn't mean to move your career.
Oh no, that's
You wrote for Carson. You had your own show on ABC. A lot of them are tortured individuals, right?
I fear that is true.
But isn't it interesting that you devote your life to making people laugh, but you yourself aren't enjoying levity? You're look at Johnny Carson.
Here's Johnny.
Brilliant comedian, correct?
Yeah.
All right, timing impeccable.
Perfect.
Perfect presentation. And his private life is a mess.
I know. He was a very good friend of mine.
Medically, see.
We're not going to get away with it another year.
Johnny was one of the most tortured, tense, like a wire that was about to snap. He had drinking. He had certain times when I was writing for him, just like that. And he looked like a man who couldn't possibly.
So he didn't enjoy going out there, the curtain and all of that?
Yes, he did enjoy that.
I diddle.
When he got out there.
Yeah. He did enjoy going out, you're right.
How do you greet your diddle in the morning?
And I would stand backstage with him, and he would have his last cigarette until the show. And he was impeccably clad, and he'd do like a little tap dance step to warm up, drop the cigarette. The theme song would come in, and he'd go out there in the applause. And Johnny was happy and in command and masterful for 1 hour.
And same with Robin Williams, I think, when he was performing and lost in that performance.
Thanks, Mort, but I was trying to put the boot on.
I guess we start off the day on the wrong foot, huh?
I thought that was a tremendous pressure, you know, because people are always looking to Robin Williams, Jonathan Winters to make them laugh. Well, Mr. Cavett, thanks for writing in the book. It's got a lot of really good stuff.
You don't have to call me Mr. Cavett anymore.
Come on,
heaven's sake.
I'm catching up to you, yeah.
Mr. Dick would be all right, whatever you want.
All right. Next, Factor Tip.